Oh. What's up, chicken nuggets? Friends, homies, peeps, Soul Tribe. I'm gonna try to do this thing, dude. I still ain't got shit all set up in here, in case you didn't notice. But I cleaned my whiteboard off. I had a bunch of stuff related to a medical situation on there for a long time. And for like, I got this like 2 months ago. I got it like 2 months ago because I was gonna start using it in in some of the stuff. And so I had all this stuff about this. Where are we at? I'm on my other phone too. So I had all this stuff about the I got my little tripod out. I'm getting my shit set up. And this thing got so many alerts. On it. Whiteboard. We're gonna use it. We're gonna do the things. Because I got some of the stuff that was on this is filed away now, and there's other stuff about soulmates and relationships and shit it's in here. We're gonna go through, and we're actually gonna go through some of that right now, because if you're on this healing journey, let's say you're on the twin flame journey. You know you're meant for a sacred, like completely earth shattering, amazing connection, partnership, romance, bromance, sistermans, whatever your jam is. But you know you're bound for something special, something off the fucking charts. Those of us in the healing journey from keep looking to the other side because the stop button is on the other side. Sorry. In the healing journey, when you have complex trauma, when your parents were an entire show, dude, so this this human that I love more than just about any other on earth was saying something today. It was from a little while back, but talk about I'm gonna lay myself out a little bit. Check me out. This is my channel. If you don't like it, booger off. And apparently this ain't gonna be short neither. Where you at? Oh, talking about the fucking the narcs and the dumpster fires and shit. And I've started writing my first book, at least the one that's gonna be like whatever they call those ones, when it's about your life. It's gonna be like a like 1,000 Tiny Pieces style book, a memoir. That's it. Where it's mostly real, mostly based on true events, but the shit I've gone through is so fucking surreal that it's like I'll be able to stretch a couple things and put some things in there. But I'm not gonna need too much. I'm not gonna need to stretch a whole lot much, very much at all. But the working title for that book, this has been for a couple of years, dude. is My Life Has a Dumpster Fire. Anyways, I know the camera's over here somewhere. But another funny thing is, as I was just doing this and getting myself situated, one of the people that tried to murder me a couple years ago, I started doing some funny. I thought they were funny. I still think they're funny, actually, but I haven't run with them because of this whole situation that I'm in, and I gotta like separate out some of the accounts and stuff like that. But just reversing the humiliation rituals for these people and making videos about them and just totally making fun of them. But one of them's kind of a combination of this dude and my father and kind of like George Bush / Trump / all these like psychopath wannabes, and what he was doing at the beginning. He was like, listen, my friends are all in the phone. It's very smart. They're so smart. They got in the TV and they're in my phone. It's where my friends live. Anyways, when you're making shit for online, I kind of do in a way. Except I know you guys are real people. Anyways, I guess you'll see that when it comes out. It's probably not funny talking about it, but it is pretty funny, dude. It's pretty funny shit. These people, these narcissists are pretty fucking funny, and is just funny to me because the person 444, this person, I guess you can call her a person. She's a pretty advanced model, dude. She's not like much else you see on this planet. Not much else that's ever been seen here. And she's got a lot of light codes activated already. She's pulling light codes from the future and all kinds of shit, dude. You wouldn't believe it. I don't think she even knows half of what's going on. But God's doing some cool shit with her, through her, because of her. I'm gonna get sidetracked. You're talking about this thing about narcissists and the fucking dumpster fire that they are and everything, and it's just funny. I was cracking up this afternoon because of that, and this is a couple years in the process, dude, and it's not like coming up with this today. It's to me it's really, really funny how much alignment there is in synchronicity, and I believe it's because we have the same employer. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty damn certain. And a couple other details, astrologically, and little things, little soul things. So, anyways, with that quick little aside, my life as a dumpster fire, sneak preview. That's gonna be one of my books. At least that's gonna be probably part one of the memoirs. But again, I came up with that title a couple years ago before I had started doing much of my trauma work, and I didn't know much about trauma or any of this shit that have found out about my family in the meantime, since they're trying to get her done. But they're pretty pathetic, man. Got a bunch of them in on it, bunch of money, and they still at it, dude. They're still fucking stalking me and all kind of shit, dude. Hey. Their first attempt. Speaking of Mother's Day, it's May 10th today, 2026. Happy Mother's Day, if you have one. If you just have a narc, then happy Mothering Yourself Day. Good job surviving that shit. The first one, they tried to do 2 days after Mother's Day. Well, not the very first one, but after the cycle had kind of reset. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. And I was trying to deal with it through the courts and the police and everything else. And absolute shit show of dysfunction. They came for me on Scorpio full moon, which we just had like a week and a half ago, but it was like 2 days after Mother's Day on last year, 2025. A bunch more times in May, dude. They went out at pretty full bore in May and June, and then sporadically throughout the rest of the year. Yeah, this kind of shit. So I guess we're talking about I guess we're gonna detour side quest, talking about the fucking memoir. And the kind of shit that you think it's pure Hollywood, man. It's pure Hollywood unless you fucking been through it. And if you know about these people, then you know exactly how they roll. But people taking out life insurance policies and like murdering their own children, trying to destroy their grandchildren's life, like it's so weird to me, dude. It's so fucking weird. It's so weird. It's kind of depressed too. I really love holidays, dude. I love holidays. I love birthdays and all this stuff. And narcissists and psychopaths have a special way of. They hate anything that is a celebration of love, and of other people, and of life, and of everything good on earth. This is one thing that I found so consistently with them, especially the high level ones. The lower level ones can play a pretty good game sometimes. They'll act. And they'll buy lots of gifts and do all this stuff, but then it's always with expectation or the desire to like control things, control the narrative, whatever. Side quest. I should probably stop this and just fucking. Should I? We're 9 minutes in, though. Nah. Fuck it, because the next one, if I try to do a short, it's gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna be 10 minutes into it before I even start talking about what the fuck I started the video for. So. Please forgive everything that you feel like forgiving, and the rest, do what you want with. Here's my whiteboard, shiny and new. Cleaned it with alcohol and everything today. So a lot of us in this healing process, this is all tied in together because many of us in the collective, in the healing collective, like we're on this healing journey. And we've been mangled up pretty bad by people and characters, and oftentimes narcissists. People that we grew up with, people that were supposed to protect us, for instance. People that were supposed to care about us and love us. Does a number to you when that doesn't happen. Anyways, there's this thing. There's this thing, soulmates. If you're on that journey, you know about it. You know about it, and you know it's real, or your soul wouldn't want it. God would not have fucking put it in there, in your fucking motherfucking beautiful little heart and your soul and your nervous system. God wouldn't have put it in there just to tease you and torment you and torture you forever. That's what narcs do. That's not what love does. That's not what love does. So if you got the calling and you know about it, it's real. Anyways, when we're healing, when we're in the healing process, I'm gonna do this. I'm playing around with diagrams again because it's been a little bit, and it's just time. It's time to do it. Say you got two soulmates there, soulmate A and B. They're very fancy. They're very fancy. They should have at least happy faces, right? Soulmates. They're like, dude, I've been through some shit. I'm over it. And a lot of us think, especially in relationships, you've been mangled up in relationships and you're not just like, It fucking sucks when you've been fucked up in relationships and you want to love, and the solution to all the problems is love, and you don't know what it is, where it is, how to go about getting it, or anything else aside from the drops that you've created out of your fucking bottomless depths of like God creation self, because you weren't never shown it. So you just had to do it, especially if you had kids. You just fucking figured it out. So we might be running with this kind of story in our head. It's like, okay, we gotta like do past all these levels. It's like Mario Brothers or some shit. Okay, gotta get past all the levels. Power up. Do all the fucking things. You know, this might take you a couple years, couple decades, whatever. And then it's like, boom, I got to level 37. Soulmate time. It's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be like this and that. It's gonna be like all these things that I thought about in my beautiful little brain. It's gonna be like that, and everything's gonna be perfect. And let's say somebody else comes up, and you think, wow, I really like this other person, this other lady or man or whatever, but they're only level 37. Couldn't be that they're actually my soulmate. God damn it. Maybe it's like, so a couple different things could be playing out right here, my friend. A couple different things could be playing out right here. You might actually be incorrect. Maybe this person that you thought they were, or maybe they could be, but they're like only level 36, and you didn't know about, you know, some and something else. or you might actually be, maybe you were checking out, like, you know, maybe there were some contenders. in there. So you're kind of comparing their stats and looking like, this one level 28, but they got this and this. This one's level 37. So they're pretty close, and you know, this and that. And I like certain things about, you know, certain things. And but this one, dude, this one like pretty much fits the bill. But it's like you feel like you're at a 37. That's when the soulmate drops in. This person's at like a 36 or a 35. And you don't know if they're even going to hit level 37. But the thing with this is, it's not comprehensive. It's not accurate. Now we're going to do this. Sorry, I should have some music on or something. It's very quiet out tonight. Usually there's a lot of traffic and stuff going on. So when we're progressing through this universe, we don't just have one bar. It's not like you think about some of the games like Super Mario, or that one's even like a little way too simplified, because you're just like on a different level. He can only Mario can only get like 2 or 3 items, especially in the earlier ones, and then it's like that's just what it is. I was thinking of this thing the other day. I was like, all right, I gotta do something about this. So I don't know if this is gonna make sense. I don't know if this is gonna make sense to you guys. So let's say that this person you're thinking about, let's just fucking for the fuck of it, let's just say like it is. Let's just say this. Let's just say it's the person that God had designed for you for the season in your life. It might be like a forever thing. It might be a seasonal thing, because sometimes soulmates is like they come in for 3, 5, 10, 20, 30 years, sometimes 70 years. Sometimes you raise family and kids and all this stuff, and then one of you or both of you goes on to different adventures at some point. That happens, dude. That's part of soulmate thing in my belief system anyways. But in terms of like, okay, if you've had some person and you're like, oh well, they're not quite at this level, and bloppity boppity boop, because it's not actually just one level, dude. It's a little more complex than that. So instead of like what's this thing gonna sit there? Instead of thinking of it, you sit right there, phone, maybe. Sorry. Instead of thinking of it as like we're both at level, there's only like one level. We're either like 37, 36, level 5, level 3 when you're fucking like born, when you're a teenager or whatever, you're like 10, 15, whatever. But a lot of this comes through the actual like healing and work. It's like you're on the adventure, you're doing the work. It's not just like you don't get to go up levels just because you go up in years. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You got to do the work. You got to do the things. Anyways, when people come together, we're not just like one level. We got all kinds of stats, dude. There's dozens of stats. And when you think about like, if you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons or the more complex role-playing games, and sometimes when you have like multiple characters, we're gonna leave that out of it for right now. But let's just say you have one character and they have like strength, dexterity, intelligence, wisdom, physical damage capacity, fucking blah 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 blah, and then you have like your character classes. They can learn all kinds of different things, all kinds of different skills, and as you go through, you build a character up and they get more and more powerful. So I was thinking of this the other day because I've run into some of this kind of thought process at the top, where it's just like, that person's not right here, but it's not just one level, dude. And when you start looking at all the different stats, and especially when it's like partnerships of many kinds, but soulmates especially, there's going to be like a weaving together of complementary. I just put this one in a reverse image because it's like, I was thinking another thing with like where the things come together and they just fit perfectly. Each person doesn't have to be like max stats. Each person doesn't have to have like 100% in all of their fucking stats and all of their skills and all of their profession and et cetera. It can be complementary. But let's just say you have like your core stats, and all of those have to be up at a certain level in order to be ready for the soulmate sitch. But then the other ones are going to be a little more variable, and they don't matter as much necessarily. People are all kinds of different ways, but when you find your soulmate situation, I believe that it's going to be extremely complementary. Like where one person, both of them are going to be strong in a lot of areas, especially like all the important areas for whatever kind of work that you each are doing or both doing together, which is, I think we're going to see a lot of that in this new age of Aquarius, like sacred business partnerships, sacred like families, like all that kind of stuff is going to be huge as well. And sometimes your soulmate, like your romantic partner, your marriage partner, is going to be the same person that you're doing a lot of that other stuff with, which is fucking awesome. I'm excited to see some of those happening on the ground. I'm excited to be part of one of those on the ground. But all the base stats all have to be at a certain level for sure. Like for sure, all the base stats. But then there's going to be like tier 1, 2, 3, and the further down the tier you go, the less important it is that the things have to be perfect. But I think in terms of soulmate shit, most of them are going to be complementary. And when you flip it around in a mirror image so that they can kind of come together, like the fingers on the gloves, it's going to make sense, because you're going to see, oh, well, I have I have a lot of experience doing this one thing over here, and then you don't have as much, so it's like, so it fits when we come together right there, and it's complementary. And it's not like you're both going the same way and like this person has to go further and like, no, I got to catch up, and then no, I got to go further, no, I got to catch up. It's like, that's old timeline stuff. Imho, IMHO. How's that? That's kind of I like the bluer light. The bluer light. Anyways. It's complicated. Relationships are complicated. Human beings are complicated. And in terms of relationships, I know I posted something about this when I was walking up at the park the other day, and it's like, man, we have to go through so much bullshit in our fucking belief system. It's hard enough just being a person, but to be on like the cutting edge of evolution, man, and to be trying to like navigate, if you're navigating healing and stuff ongoing at the same time. If you're in the process of trying to find one of these, camera, the timer is up top on this. Sorry, everything is a little bit wonky for me right now because the way that I'm filming in this other phone. That's a lot, dude. It's a lot to figure out. It's a lot to manage. But it's just thought I just want to throw this out there for people that might be stepping on this path, looking at this kind of stuff. Seeing the game as much more complicated than we might have been led to believe in the past, that we're just going to get up to a certain point in healing. It's like boom, and then something that came up for me earlier this year, especially because around relationship stuff, is that so many of us were raised, we didn't have parents. We the Gen X, we were called Latchkey kids for a reason. We did a lot of our own, we figured shit out. we figured a lot of shit out on our own. And for large part, for many of us, we were raised on movies and television, and many of us have these kind of Disney type belief systems, and where we think that like that there's going to be like a happily ever after, and I think there's this is another thing that, like, I'm looking at my storyteller's tarot right here as I'm saying this too. Some cool shit. I've gotten more into stories and mythology and how critical it is to human beings and to our evolution and to our process. There's a reason so many stories end like that after everything's been resolved, and especially with finding partnership, finding marriage, etc. But to me, especially in this age, in this day and age, and moving into the age of Aquarius, is like, right now we're at the end of an era, but it's just the beginning of new things, and especially in terms of partnership. For me, I'm meant to do really big things in the world and build things, and I've put many years, I've put decades into this already, to get a lot of this stuff going, and I've done a lot of shit already too, but this new era, like the age of Aquarius, is just kicking off. These partnerships, if it's like, and with a soulmate especially, it's like, wow, if you found your person after all these fucking years, what a miraculous beginning, dude. What a miraculous fucking beginning. It's not the ending at all. I mean, it's the end of a season in hell for many of us. But so many of us grew up with these Disney, and not to be derogatory about it, there's a lot of beauty in many of these stories as well. But this kind of idea that it's going to be like a happily ever after situation. And I think what's important as we navigate these things is just like in AA, dude. Take what's good, take what works for you, and leave the rest. And if none of it works for you, leave it all. There's good stuff in our culture. There's good stuff in movies. There's good stuff in people, in some people. There's good stuff in most people. But those we can't take with us. Those people are either going to come or go. They're going to do their own thing. People got to choose. In terms of relationships and connections and stuff like that, man, and what we take from from these movies, and the beauty, the beauty of love and connection and romance oftentimes, and overcoming like seemingly impossible obstacles. I mean, these are all parts of like hero's journey and mythologies that are pretty common across cultures around the world. But in terms of this, if you've been in this, if you've had some of this thought process about where it's like, okay, I've been doing the work and 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 doing the work. I'm sick of all these fucking levels and power ups and getting knocked back and having to start over and using up all my lives and all this shit. Just remember, where you at? Where you guys at? Where my friends at in there? Where my friends? We got lots of stats, dude. It's complicated. When you find your person, when you find your soulmate, or if you're not looking for that, if you're just looking for like functional relationships and potentially like marriage and partnership, stuff like that, there's a level of like when stuff is good enough to be functional, and there's enough cohesion and enough maturity and enough love, that it's workable. Work with it, man. Work with it, because you're gonna grow in the process. You're gonna grow. Both people are gonna grow. We're always growing. We're always evolving. This concept of good enough parenting, I came across from Pete Walker, his work on complex PTSD. A really good guy, been through a lot of similar shit to a lot of us. And his book, the one I read, is called From Surviving to Thriving. I think he's got several. And then Peter Levine has some really good work too on healing complex PTSD. But many of us with a lot of abuse, we have something called a salvation fantasy, where we think that we're going to land in this perfect situation, or a perfect person is going to enter our life, and then everything else, all the shit, all the BS, everything else is going to be more or less gone. We don't have to deal with it anymore. Again, elements of that can be true, man, because our dreams, the dreams that God gives us, are there for a reason as well. And we shouldn't settle for something that's just like, I don't believe we should settle for something that's just like, okay, that's good enough. This will get us by. Well, it depends on the person and the situation. And it depends on a lot of different things. But in terms of healing and finding a therapist and stuff is especially what he was relating this to. Or even doing book therapy, bibliotherapy, if you have to, which many of us who don't feel safe really around any people have had to do for seasons, or some people for their whole life, if the damage is bad enough. But he talks about good enough parenting, good enough therapy, good enough this and that, and I think that there's a lot of wisdom in that as well. Doing that for a season or two if we need to. There's all the traffic. They're just waiting, and so I was gonna close this thing up a little bit. Anyways, good enough stuff. Oh, God, who is it? Do I want to give this one away completely? No, I don't want to give this one away. There's another author talking about soulmate love and this kind of trap that we can fall into of waiting for perfection, wanting perfection, needing perfection, demanding perfection, and then on the other hand settling for something that's okay when you know you're not fulfilled and you know your soulmate is out there still. And this dichotomy, this dance, some of us can get stuck in that. But this particular author, she recommends, as you're working through things, as you're healing, to continue to get out there and be involved in other types of relationships, especially friendships, and just like having that heart energy flowing with other people, not like the sacred romantic heart stuff that you want to share with one person, but just the overall like heart connection and speaking with people and finding people that are aligned with you and with your spiritual values. And this can come from a spiritual community. Oftentimes it doesn't have to, but that can be a really good place to find people that are heart aligned. But yeah, in the meantime, if you know your person is out there, if you're in a relationship and you know that it's not like the one, I would encourage you to, get out of it, end it in a way that's gentle and respectful for both people. Cause that's, if you're keeping a person around just because it feels good and it's better than not being with anyone, you're blocking your own progress and you're blocking love. You're blocking ultimate love and true fulfillment on some level. But if you know you're on this path and you're looking and doing what you can and not putting like desperate energy out there, which can be really self-defeating as well. Just continuing to do the healing work and to be in other types of good enough relationships, because sometimes that's all we have when we're on the healing path. People that are safe enough. We don't have to go too deep with any particular person in any particular arena, but when we're sharing that heart energy, it continues to heal and release and heal and release and heal and release and moves things out of our body and out of our energy system, so that the one that God has planned for us, the one that our soul planned for itself with the other person, so that one can enter into our life. Hope you guys are doing good. I love you.